heart is haunted. Right from the start, dear, built on an acre of sand.
All right, welcome back. You're listening to Zada and Kelly on our podcast, Two Sides in the Truth.
Welcome. I'm so glad to be back. This is number, I don't know what.
It's 4.
I've lost count already.
I know, that's good. That's good. Okay, everyone, we're doing something a little different this time.
I thought it was 3. I remember doing deuces last time.
Well, we did the first one where we discussed doing a podcast, like what to expect.
Oh, yeah.
Then we did another one, and then I think we did one more.
Who knows?
Because we pulled Melindy.
Oh, yeah. Well, this is our 4th.
Yeah.
Melindy was on our 3rd.
Yeah. So we're doing something a little different today. We were going to call it, what was it?
Wing It Wednesday.
Wing It Wednesday, but it's Saturday. So it's Wing It Wednesday on Saturday. Whenever you listen,
We're introducing another element in our thing, and it's going to be Wing It Wednesday. So stay tuned.
Yes. We're not there yet. But it is a little bit like Wing It Wednesday because we are going to wing it a little bit.
Yeah.
Which is what we do on my other podcast, which is The Third Wheel with Al Mack, Big Al, from the Kid Craddock Morning Show. And he's my co-host on that. And we record in his studio that is connected to his bar restaurant down the hatch in Waxahachie, Texas. And so just want to thank Al for letting us record over here. And
yes, we love you, Al.
He's awesome. Y'all come by and get some wings and such. So that's what we're doing today. We're going to wing it a little bit on Saturday. And
yeah.
And
we have already had a very productive day today. I've enjoyed our day. Started off with mimosas and breakfast and sunrise, and it was wonderful.
It was beautiful. We made an itinerary. If you follow me on social media, which is Zada Owens on Facebook, and it is the Mama Zita on Instagram, and Kelly is Kelly Lady Pearl on Instagram. We on Facebook, I put our itinerary for the day.
We busted out our itinerary. I'd like to say that.
As I made breakfast this morning, Kelly busted out the itinerary, the computer, and started typing what we were going to do today. Kelly, you want to read what our itinerary for the day was?
Yeah, and I think we've knocked pretty much everything off the list. It started off with thanking Jesus for the day. We did that. Breakfast and mimosas and Miranda Lambert with the sunrise. That was epic.
That was great.
We ate breakfast, took medication. I kinked my hair, and I love it. Got a rocker going on. I love it. We thanked Jesus again. We went to the dump, and that was great.
Literally the dump, not the store, but the city dump.
I guess there could be a confusion there.
Yes, and we dropped off some stuff I needed to get rid of.
And we went to the farmer's market to get bread.
Yes, we got fresh bread at the farmer's market.
That is the place to go.
It is.
It's hopping on Saturday.
It was hopping, and then we went.
And then, actually, one thing we didn't do, we didn't go on our llama adventure.
We did not. I forgot about the llamas.
Nope, no llamas. Target for bedding and pumpkins. Oh, we got pumpkins at HEB.
Yes.
But Target for bedding, got that.
I like to decorate with pumpkins because I'm a middle-aged white woman. And so...
'Tis the season.
It is the season. This is what we do, y'all. This is part of my genetics.
Welcome.
So I bought... How many pumpkins do you think I bought? 8 or 9?
A lot.
Yeah.
More than necessary, but not enough.
Exactly. So my house is looking pumpkin-y, and then we went and bought bedding. And if you have been following me on social media, you have followed the bedding saga, because my boyfriend Rick moved in, and his house was camo and dead animals. Yep. Not kidding. If it wasn't a shade of brown, it was a shade of camo.
Yep.
And I don't want camo or brown in my house. And oddly enough, he's not a big fan of green. But camo's green.
Yeah. I mean, you can get camo in other colors. I realize
you can, but it's usually green.
Yeah,
it's supposed to look like trees.
Yeah.
So we currently have his bedding on the bed because he moved his bed over to the house, and I wasn't there when he did it, and he went ahead and made it. So I was, yeah. So lovely. I'm not dealing with this camo in the bedding. I walk in my room every day, and I'm like, I gotta deal with this situation.
Yeah, you really do.
So I went.
It's a mental health thing.
It is, and all week long I've been trying to find the right bedding. So I love velvet. I know it's hot, but this is just for pretty.
Yeah, it's the aesthetic.
It's the aesthetic. I already have 2 velvet.
I like to say that word. It's fun.
Aesthetic. It doesn't come out as well when I say it. And so I found this really pretty, like paprika cayenne-ish color velvet comforter, and I was going to go for like muted tones and kind of a Southwest without the Southwest look, but the colors, and I thought he'd like that. It's manly, and he was like, I said, hey, you like this rug? And it's like an Aztec looking rug, and he's like, yeah, but we need bedding. And I'm like, okay, do you like this comforter? This is what I picked to match it. And he was like, what the hell kind of material? And he said, I'm going to do my impression of Rick. What the hell's that shit? I ain't sleeping on any velvet. And
that was amazing. Thank you. I love it when you impersonate Rick.
And so he's like, no, basically. So on went my search for the perfect comforter. Yeah. So I go to Target, and the first comforter I see and love is velvet, the same color. So there's another two ladies on the aisle. You have a pattern. I do. And so there's two ladies on the aisle, and they're shopping for bedding, and we start talking, and she gives me the idea to just use a velvet throw so I can still get my velvet fix. So I just kind of made a plan, but I didn't do it. And then today on our itinerary, Kelly and I went and did it because I wanted her opinion, and I'm not done yet. But it's coming together.
It's always good to have a girlfriend's opinion.
Yes.
I mean, that's why those two women were together.
I know. And I told them when I left empty-handed, I said, I'm coming back with my best friend tomorrow. They started laughing at me. They're like,
very smart, very smart.
I was like, I need a backup. So bedding's still not done. Living together is going well. No issues. Just,
I'm happy that this has seemingly been pretty smooth for you.
Yes, and he's out of town this weekend, and the kids were like,
merging can be very difficult.
I thought it would be, to be honest with you, because we both have such big personalities.
Yeah.
So I was a little worried. Yeah. And we've never spent more than a weekend together in 10 years. Like, we've never spent, we went on vacation for like 5 days, 6 days, whatever. But like maybe once a year we have that long of a vacation.
Yeah.
We do vacation together. So we do go on vacations for 5 or 6 days. But we have the kids, and we're on vacation, and there's no chores other than just picking up after yourself. You know what I mean? But now, like, this is real life. And it's gotten pretty interesting to see the differences. He told me, I think we talked about this a little bit on the last podcast, but I asked him after dinner the other night, I said, did you like it? Because I do cook some things I know he doesn't cook.
Yeah, aren't his favorite.
Yeah. Well, I know they're the kids' favorite, or I know he likes it when we go to restaurants, but I know it's not something he eats at home, I guess.
Yeah, that can be different.
Yeah. Even like the lasagna. He's like, I didn't know people like made lasagna at home. And then he was like, and
bless
Chinese.
His heart.
I know. And then Chinese food I made the other night. That was the night I'd made stir fry. And I was like, do you like it? And he ate. I made egg rolls too, and he ate like 3 egg rolls. So he clearly liked those. Yeah. And so I was like, do you like it? And he was like, yeah, it's good. It's just weird. You cook weird food. I'm like, Chinese food is weird. He was like, I have never known a single person to ever cook Chinese food that didn't just take it out of a frozen bag. Like, I've never known anyone actually prepares Chinese food.
I like that you're getting him out of the box a little bit there.
That's what I'm saying. And
literally out of the freezer box.
Yes. Well, he actually is a very good cook, and he does cook a lot, and he does cook like from scratch. He's an old school cook, but he cooks only country food.
Yeah. You have a lot more flair and variety than he does.
And he wants basic and just country food. He wants fried chicken, mashed potatoes. I've made those for him, though. Are we supposed to eat it every night? That's what,
I'm sure he would be happy with that.
He would be, but I would not, neither would the kids. So we like to mix it up a little bit more.
Well, it's good that he is just going along with it, though, instead of making, a big deal about it and, he's just, all right, here we go.
I even made him.
What do you have for me tonight?
I thought for sure he was going to tell me no when I told him what was in these sliders. I made him these little sandwich sliders. I've probably made them for you before. And I'm sure other people have had them. Like, they're out there. But it's like the little Hawaiian rolls.
Yeah.
That you
love those.
Yeah, they're so good. And you cut them in half, and you put cream cheese inside of them, and then you put ham or turkey. I do ham, sandwich meat, thin sliced ham, and then you put a cheese of your choice. And I do usually Swiss or Havarti, whatever is handy. And so I put that there, and then I make like a sauce for it, which is brown sugar, Dijon mustard. I kind of just wing it every time. Worcestershire sauce, garlic, butter, and then I pour that over it, and then I stick it in the oven. And it's really good. It's one of my kids' favorite things. And I thought, I don't know if he's going to.
You don't know if he's going to go for it.
I knew this one was testing my boundaries.
Well, I think that's a healthy thing to do.
And it was the first Sunday he lived there that I did it, I think. And I was like, we're going to see. Like a week after he had moved in.
Yeah.
And he was like, no, it might have been the week he moved in. And he was like, these are really good. So I was like, oh, all right, good. All right. He's branching out. But one thing that I've started doing that I did not do prior to him living there is I've started cooking breakfast. And I cook breakfast on weekends sometimes, but I don't like breakfast food. So I don't typically cook it unless I'm on vacation or something because I can make a big deal of it and make what I like. Mm-hmm. I like breakfast food my way. You know, I like vegetables and flavors, and I just don't want plain old eggs and bacon all the time.
Yeah.
And so, but he does. That's what he likes. So I've been getting up, and part of the reason that I started doing it was for the kids because their bus is too late for them to eat breakfast at school. Mm-hmm. And my son takes medicine where he needs to eat a real meal. So I want him to eat a real meal. So I've been getting up at 4:10 in the morning because I leave for work at about 5:10, 5:20 and starting breakfast. So I've been making bacon and eggs almost every day, some days sausage. And then every day I do a different bread, and I try to switch up the bread. So sometimes it's in a tortilla, sometimes it's on a biscuit, sometimes it's got toast, sometimes it's a breakfast sandwich.
Bread surprise.
Yeah, you need a bread. And so the other day I made it, and I made French toast with it. And I love French toast. And honestly, it's the first time I've eaten breakfast that I've made since I started doing this like 2 weeks ago. And because I don't want to eat that early. So I go to work and make myself a bagel. I haven't eaten at all these breakfasts I've been making.
You're the simple one here.
Yeah, I just want a bagel and cream cheese. So I'm like, I make the French toast the other day, and he says, you don't have to make this fancy a meal like for breakfast. Like it's just too much work. You're just having to do too much work. Like I don't want you to have to work this hard in the morning. And I was like, this is my love language. This is what I do. Yeah. I like doing this for y'all. And I was like, I'm not even eating it. So it's not even about, he didn't know I wasn't eating it. He didn't know because he would come, I'd call him for breakfast and say, breakfast is ready. And I'd wake the kids up and I'd leave as soon as I woke everybody up and said, come and eat. Sometimes the kids would get up with me and have coffee while I'm, doing what I'm doing. But, I'm letting them sleep till the last minute because it is early. I mean, they're getting up to eat breakfast at 5 a.m. And I'm rolling upstairs to throw my clothes on and go to work. So I call them down. And then they roll upstairs, and once they get upstairs, once I get upstairs, I change, I get ready for, the day, and I leave. He didn't realize I was also not eating. I do eat an hour later at work, but just not that early. You might hear Kelly cough because she's a little under the weather.
Well, I have allergies like every other Texan.
Yeah, everybody's got them this week. So that's been our new little thing is, food. There's a lot of food. I've been cooking every night. My son said like 2 nights ago, he goes, can we please just have some fast food? Can you stop cooking every night? I was like, no, sorry, I'm cooking tonight.
Cooking machine, you.
Yeah, but then I made Chinese food that night, and he was thrilled. Thrilled.
That's awesome.
Oh, so that's how it's going on the home front with Rick. So far, so good.
Well, I think that it is a good thing that neither of y'all have killed the other one, and
that's
no
not
major fights.
No,
you haven't called me to help you move a body yet. So
I haven't. We haven't had to hide a body. I hadn't had to go buy some
positive
poison.
Thing.
So anyone hunting this weekend, and or he went to the hunting lease. I don't think he's actually hunting. It's dove season, but I think he's just working on getting his deer stand how he wants it or whatever. So he's gone for the weekend, and
which I'm so happy about.
Kelly got her.
We needed a girl day.
We
for
did,
sure.
And I felt bad. I told yesterday at work, I was like, I've enjoyed seeing him every day and everything, but I'm kind of looking forward to a little break, so he can do his thing and I can do my thing. You know what I mean?
I'll tell you what, I always like to miss somebody.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's good to miss somebody.
Yep.
Makes you want them more.
I think so.
Yeah, maybe that's why we worked out for 10 years. Because we didn't see each other for 5 days at a time every week.
Yeah, I think that's healthy, actually.
Yeah.
I mean, not that I'm against living with the person that you're with. I do. But it's different. And you have to make the effort to schedule that you time and away time and hobby time and friend time. It makes all the difference.
It does. And the other thing that I find funny about this whole moving in thing together is that, I was married before, and that's the only time that I've ever lived with a man. And I purposely chose not to live with a man as I raised my kids. So I've been divorced about 15 years, and I haven't lived with a man in 15 years. And so I did have a male roommate for about a month and a half while I was waiting for something to get ready, but that was it. And it was just a roommate. And so I haven't really been doing it. And Kelly's taking a picture of me right now, and I can't
just
even
so
concentrate.
Cute, and I'm trying to get in the action.
In the
picture.
action. This is live. Anyway, so one of the funny things that I have found about living together is he has always been very comfortable around me, like going to the bathroom, making male noises and such. I was raised.
Can you give me an example of a male noise that you're making?
No,
I think that would make good radio. I'm just saying.
I don't think anyone wants me to intimidate. What is it? Pretend I'm doing these noises. And so
I think you're really underestimating people.
Yeah, maybe,
okay?
maybe. But my mom was really, really funny about girls. They don't poop,
fart.
They don't fart. They don't anything. And you need to leave no evidence that has ever happened. And
are you doing it with the door open yet?
I know. The whole time I was married, I never did. No, I don't do it. I
agree. I think that's. I mean,
it's weird to me. I don't want anyone there when I'm going to the
bathroom.
bathroom.
I'm not knocking anybody's happy place. You know, you can do whatever you want. But to me, that is something that I need that privacy.
Exactly. And
I want you to take your privacy.
You to have your privacy
when
too.
I'm around.
He does not care as much for the privacy. It does not bother him. And he thinks it's kind of funny because I react. And I'm like, oh, you're so gross. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so the other day, he's like, hey, come here. And he's calling me into the bathroom as he's sitting on the toilet.
Oh, my God.
And come here, Zada, come here. And I'm like, what? You're in the bathroom. The door's shut and everything. And I was like, you're in the bathroom. I'm not coming in the bathroom while you're in the bathroom. I want to show you something. It's okay. We're damn near married anyways. I was like, well, you're not near married. And I don't want to be in there while you're pooping. I'm sorry. And he was like, just come and look at this. And I opened the door. There he is sitting on the toilet staring at me. And he hands me his phone and it's a meme. And
oh my gosh, he called you in
for a meme
while he was pooping for a meme.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
And I have to add that he's never shown me a meme, maybe ever, in 10 years.
This is the time he chooses to do it.
He's probably seeing more memes than usual because I don't watch TV and I don't have TVs in my house other than my son's Xbox TV, which none of them are hooked up to any. It's not hooked up to cable or anything. We have no TV. You don't watch TV in my house.
No.
So he brought his TV because I literally have no TVs because we're not TV people.
Yep.
And so he brought his TV over, but we haven't gotten cable yet or anything because it's just not a priority for me. And not really for him. He's not a big TV person either. But at night he likes to put on something as he winds down the last 30 minutes before he goes to sleep. So now he doesn't know what to do when it's time to go to bed. And I go to bed at 8. So, and so I'm ready to go to bed at 8. He's usually ready to go to bed at 8 because he works just like I do, crazy early morning hours. And so we'll get in bed and he'll sit there and look at his phone and flip through Facebook or whatever. And that's so not like him.
Yeah.
It's so not like him. And the other funny thing is he shows me his timeline, which I know you're not on Facebook. Is Dante on Facebook?
Yeah, he has one.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Because he came up on people you may know. But the funny part is that he shows me his timeline now when we're laying in bed. He'll be looking at something and I'll watch it with him or whatever. His timeline is nothing like mine. It is so much proof that it's based on you.
Yeah.
Because his timeline is all hunting, fishing, horses, goats, chickens. That's about it. That's about all that's on his entire timeline. And my timeline is I don't know, cowboy hats, probably velvet. No. Cooking, tons of cooking stuff because I watch lots of cooking and lots of cat stuff because I love cats. And so it's so funny how different. Yeah.
Dante's is fishing and football highlights and old school cartoon clips.
Really?
Like old school cartoons. Yeah,
that's funny.
From when Warner Brothers and stuff first started making cartoons,
really
he loves. Yeah, I know.
I didn't even know that was a part of the algorithm that you can end up on old
definitely
cartoon clips.
He loves them.
That's so funny.
And he loves all the Looney Tunes, all the old Looney Tunes.
Yeah. That is funny. Well, that was one thing that we talked about was if what do we not realize about each other? Prior to this living together situation,
That's always a fun thing.
It's gotten, he's a little messier than me. And he's not a messy person, and he never kept a messy house. So he does pick up after himself.
Yeah.
But he likes to leave things in the same spot every time he leaves them there, I guess.
Dante does the same thing. He's not very messy either. I like to clean, though, so I love just running around cleaning up. But he will when he goes to take a shower, he will take off his clothes and leave them in the exact same corner of the bathroom. And I will always come in there after him and pick them up. And he will tell me almost every time, oh, babe, I was going to get those. And I don't doubt that he would, but I'm the kind of person that...
Yeah, you're going to put it up.
I make sure the bathroom floor is cleared every time I go in there. If there's something on the floor, I'll pick it up.
He takes his pants off next to the bed. And he leaves... I don't know how he even does this, because I wear boots all the time, and I have to, like, work my boots off. I have to, like, use my boot remover.
The boot scooter.
Yeah, and for those of you that don't wear boots, there's a little thing that you put on the ground, and you stick the heel of your boot into it, and then you use your other foot to hold it on the ground while you pull your leg up and pull the boot off. So I use mine all the time. He doesn't use it, but he takes his pants off and his boots at the same time. Like, literally, it looks like there's some legs in the pants. Oh, they're starched, too, so they hold their shape. So his boots are still in his pants. His pants are starched, so they're still got some volume to them. And then he just, like, drops them next to the bed. So half the time, it looks like someone's laying under our bed and, like, just, like, their legs are coming out from underneath
I'm getting,
the bed.
Wicked Witch of the West
That's exactly
vibes.
what it looks like. It's like someone dropped a house on Rick, but he's sitting on the bed or he's in the shower or whatever. And he'll pick it up, like, he'll leave it there overnight, though, and I sleep on the side of the bed that's closer to the wall. So when I get up to go to the bathroom, and I walk around the bed and I head towards the bathroom, I have tripped over that damn fake person like 4 times now. I'm like, can we just put Joe Bob up?
Or just scoot him all the way under the bed. I don't know what you want to do.
Yeah. And the other thing that he does is he takes much longer showers than I do, which I find funny. And he was like, are you just not cleaning everything? I'm like, you kidding me? I shave my legs every time I shower. I shave my underarms. You don't even shave. No. You don't have a lot of hair.
I think men just like their shower time.
That's all I can think of. But.
Maybe they're doing extracurricular activities in there.
I feel like I would know because, he comes to bed after that.
I don't know. You don't never know everything
Maybe
about
priming
somebody.
Himself up. I don't know. He's gonna hate me for that conversation.
Hey, you know what? Laugh. I think that's healthy.
Yeah, each their own. That's better than other alternatives, I guess. Is there anything with Dante that when y'all moved in together, you were just like, I didn't expect this?
Not really. I mean, I merge really well with people. Nothing really throws me. I mean, because I'm just, I don't know, but no. Not really.
There wasn't any surprises?
No. I mean, it was very different living with older kids because I have lived with older kids. I was the youngest child when I was growing up. But since growing up and moving out and being an adult, I haven't lived with a significant other that has had children. Not that I haven't dated people who have had children. I have, but I haven't lived with a person who had children,
right.
Young or older. So that was kind of a learning curve because, I don't have kids and I don't parent them at all. Like I'm nice to them. Obviously I love them. They're wonderful. I love spending time with them, but I don't parent them in any way.
Yeah.
That's all his job.
You're more like the fun aunt that lives there.
I speak up every now and then when it needs to be done. I'm not a pushover. They do not walk over me in any way. They don't necessarily walk over him or any either, but they tiptoe and play around over him sometimes. But he's very lenient with his kids, and he's he's a giver, and he likes to make people happy, and he takes care of people. So
so they were maybe a little spoiled.
They're a little bit more than spoiled.
Yeah.
So, but that's okay. I mean, they're good kids. So.
Well, I mean, and Rick has his daughter, but she's in college now. She just left for college. And so she's come home every other weekend. And when she comes home, she's staying at her grandma's house because we don't have an extra bedroom.
Yeah.
But I hate that because I feel like I want her home to be her dad's home, So I try to do things to make her feel at home, but I mean, I wouldn't feel at home. Like,
I totally understand.
She's hardly spent any time in my home because the whole time we've dated, we literally go on dates and have dinner. And then I told him when we weren't living together and we were just dating, I was like, you're still courting me. So for 10 years, I would not make him dinner on a Friday or Saturday night. And I like to cook, and it's my love language. But we're dating,
it's
and
date
you're
night.
courting me.
That's date night.
We're not married. We're not engaged. We don't live together. We haven't like built a life together. We've built a relationship, but not a life, you know. And so, if you're courting me, you're going to court me, and I expect to be courted. And he tried a few years ago to end that, and I was like, no, that's not how this works.
No.
No. And now that we live together, I was like, okay, we don't have to do that, you know.
Kind of dial it back a little bit.
Yeah, although he has taken us to dinner every weekend, just like we normally do. And he's
sweet.
taken me and the kids, either my kids or his daughter or both or whatever. He still does our date night, you know.
That's good.
But the kids have always gone on the date nights, too.
Yeah.
So, you know. But
yeah, that happens with us, too, because our date night is usually on Sundays because we go to church together, then we go to a movie or dinner, or the dinner, then a movie, whatever, something like that. And sometimes his kids will go, and sometimes they won't. They're kind of more of like, they like to do their own thing,
Right.
but they switch up one of them coming with us.
See, my
most of
kids
the
are that
time.
way. They don't always like to go to dinner with us. They just want, as long as I bring them something back or whatever.
Just bring me some food. Yeah, that's them.
But-
Bring me some chicken.
Yes, exactly. That's Zolt, exactly. But his daughter would go to every meal with us. Like, she went on, I cannot tell you any dates I've been on with his daughter. Because she's every Friday and Saturday night for 10 years. Like, because she had her full time like that, you know. She didn't go to her mom's every other weekend.
Yeah.
So with having her full time, you know, I mean, I'm not going to be like, no, she needs to come. Like, that's going to send the wrong message, you know.
Yeah.
And we get along great, so it's not been a big deal. But I did have her, like, set up his pictures in the house and put her pictures in the house. And I had her pick the
that's good.
pictures and bought frames for them.
She got to be part of that nesting a little
Yeah,
bit.
that was the goal, is that she felt comfortable, you know. And we have been, I take that back about going. When she comes home, we go to dinner Friday night, and Saturday night we cook, or Sunday. Oh, no, I take it back. It's Friday and Saturday. She doesn't go back to school until Mondays because she doesn't have class Mondays. She has like an online class Mondays. So Friday and Saturday night we go out to eat, and then Sunday night she comes over and we make a big meal, and he grills usually. Actually, Sundays he cooks, so which is awesome.
Nice.
He wouldn't even let me help him the other day. So that was
I'm
nice.
glad that it's getting back to grilling weather.
Yeah.
This is not incredibly hot. They actually can feel good outside.
Yes. He went and bought himself a new grill because he didn't think his would survive the move. He had worn the hell out of it. He grills year round, though. He grills all the time and smokes stuff all the time. So he got himself a new grill and a new setup outside, and he went and bought a new mower, and he's domesticating himself. It's, you know, he's never been married. And, you know, he lived with her mom, his baby mama, I guess. He lived with her, and he was engaged to her, I think. But I think they were together 5 years, you know. And they didn't live together the whole 5 years, you know. But he's never experienced being a husband type thing. He was real young when they were together, you know.
Yeah.
So this is all new to him. And the kids the other day I told them Friday when I picked them up from school, they were like, did he already leave to go hunting? And I'm like, yeah. And they were like, it's going to be weird without him. I was like, really? And they were like, yeah.
They've gotten used to him.
They've gotten used to him, yeah. There's been no issue at all. So it's been a blessing.
Really good. That's really good.
It's worked
I'm
out.
glad that things went smoothly with me and Dante and his kids as well. That there was never any problems. And
it just takes one kid that doesn't care for the new person in the household to make it a very difficult.
Pot stirrer.
A pot stirrer, yeah. And, you know, I was in a blended family, and we had a pot stirrer in the house, and it caused a lot of problems for the marriage, but also for the pot stirrers. You know, they created a situation where they had issues at home, no matter which home they went to. And, you know, I'm thankful we're not dealing with that.
Yeah.
You know, so far so good. Now, Zane is home this weekend, which is my second child. He'll be 23 next week. He's messy.
Yeah. We walked down for our breakfast mimosas, and you're like, oh, dishes in the sink that I didn't leave. Wonderful.
Yeah, I know. I wasn't happy.
Starting off on a good foot.
And I even texted him last night. Yesterday, because I didn't even know he was coming till right before he got here. And I said, hey, you know, how long you staying? What are you doing? He lives in Austin, so he lives like 2.5 hours from us. And he's in town for his girlfriend's family has something going on. So he basically said, I'm here for a family thing for her. And I was like, okay, you staying with me? You staying with them? Where y'all staying? And he was like, oh, we're going to stay with you for 2 or 3 nights. I was like, okay. And I was like, you're going to sleep on the floor. Like, I'll get you an air mattress, but I don't have any beds.
We know where to put you.
As we discussed, we were out of bedrooms. It's a 3-bedroom home. And he says, yeah, that's fine. I said, okay, well, if you make a mess, clean it immediately. Because the house is spotless.
Yeah, it is. Or it was.
Yeah. I was like, clean it. And so then when I came downstairs this morning and I had dirty dishes, I just was like, what?
I was trying so hard to keep you in a happy place and play Miranda Lambert. And
I was like, what the hell? You've been home for 12 hours and you've already left me dishes. Not even 12 hours. He didn't get, yeah. And so then, no, he had been 12 at that point. But then he has his stuff all over the living room, which is understandable because he doesn't have a bedroom for his stuff. But his girlfriend is an overpacker. She is the queen of bringing a lot of stuff everywhere. Granted, she's always prepared.
yeah.
And so they have stuff all over the living room.
They exploded.
I am just having flashbacks.
It's okay. You're gonna make through this. You're gonna make it through.
We walk out the door after seeing that, and Kelly's like, "Look at the pumpkins. Just look at the pumpkins. Focus on the pumpkins."
Just trying to keep you in your happy place.
I am. I'm still in my happy place. Agenda's going good, but
Yeah,
that's my update on home. Y'all just got a freaking 30-minute conversation about I don't even know what. I don't even know what we talked.
It was a lot.
We winged it.
It's okay. That's why I like
it
doing
on Saturday.
that. I like doing that.
Yeah.
But we can talk about what I wanted to talk about now.
Yes.
Not that it's like any big thing, but we're talking about relationships, and so I like to kind of do like real time things that you're dealing with and how you deal with them. And because I have been going to therapy most of my life, and I just talked to a girl at the Boys and Girls Club the other day. We have like smart girl time with them, or I basically just leave it open to conversation, and I go off of what they want to talk about. And we talked about therapy and how she's not in therapy, but she has thought about it and what the pros and cons could be for it. And I reminded her that good therapy just helps you find coping mechanisms for the different things that you deal with mentally. I'm like, that's what it's supposed to do. It's supposed to help you live the best life that you can live. So in relationships, one of the hardest things for me is to be able to communicate my wants and needs. I'm a very submissive person, so I very often put the other person's wants and needs above mine because I like to make them happy. I like to make sure that they are getting what they need and that I am helping out as much as I can. And I'm like that with pretty much anybody in my life. It can be a family member, it can be a friend, it can be the person that I'm dating. I want to try and help them as much as I can. But the hardest thing for me to do is to ask for help or to ask for something that I need. I can be asking you for a glass of water, or I can be asking you to put your hands on me. And both of those things are going to be equally difficult for me. And that's weird, and it's weird in my brain and to say it out loud, but it is.
Yeah.
So when I want or need something in a relationship, like especially when it's on a physical level, like kissing or touching or making love and all of the above, it can be very difficult for me to get across to the person what I want or what's going to feel good for me or anything like that. And so one of the ways that I have dealt with it in the past is, and it's part of my therapy that has been brought up, is to write letters, because it's hard for me to sit in front of somebody or and say, oh, let's have this conversation about what I need. Yeah. It wouldn't be hard for me to talk to them because I can talk to my boyfriends and ask them if there's anything that I can do for them, if there's something that we could add, are you satisfied? But when it comes to me asking for something, it's very difficult to do. So I have written letters in the past of one of the things I remember asking, because I've written to Dante before. I've written him a few letters, actually, because I've let him know this is kind of how I communicate. This is a line of communication that's open with me. Yeah. So if there is something that you need, or if I'm not getting, the cues, if you're trying to leave cues, and I'm not getting it, that's always a line of communication that's open with me, because I'm not somebody who even communicates on the phone very well. So he won't text me a lot. And I know that he has friends and people that he texts and have text conversations with, but I don't converse over text a lot, and I don't converse over the phone a lot. And that can be a way that people communicate as well. And so that kind of isn't.
Some people require that you be, I don't know how else to put this, up their ass.
Yeah.
And, and that's not for everybody.
No, it's not.
So
it's definitely not for me.
Some people would not be comfortable in a relationship with someone that's not up their ass, because then they start thinking that person doesn't like them.
Not interested or whatever. So I have written to him in the past asking for more control, because when it comes to physicalness in the relationship, I like being in control. And so when we are starting any kind of like sexual thing or whatever, I like to be able to start. I like to be the initiator.
Yeah.
Not that I have to, and I have let him know, obviously, because he's my boyfriend. If there's anything that he wants to do, I'm not going to turn him down, like within reason. Just let me know, even if I need a safe word, whatever, like we'll work it out.
Yeah.
But nothing's necessarily off the table. You just have to let me know what you want. If you don't let me know what you want, then I can't give it to you. But I have to remind myself that goes both ways. All right. I can't expect him to tell me what he's really wanting, or if I'm giving him everything he wants, if I'm not going to do the same in return.
Right.
Like if there's something that I want him to do, I need to be able to ask him to do it in whatever way I need to do that.
Writing it on paper, like I get why that is good for you to communicate.
Yeah.
I'm the same way to a degree.
Mm-hmm.
I don't write a lot of letters, but I have, and when I do, it's for a reason. Like I need to communicate something that's important.
Yeah.
And my mom was the queen of letters.
Yeah.
And some were letters of encouragement. Some were just
not so encouraging.
She and I went through a really rough stage when I was married. She did not care for my ex-husband at all, and understandably. And so it really caused a lot of problems for us. And at one point, she sent me just the meanest letters, and just horrible. And I didn't talk to her for maybe 2 years after one of those letters. Wow. And it was horrible. And now I get more why she did it, and I'm more understanding to it, and don't have any ill will to it. But what I used to do was, I'm not getting off that subject, because I come back to yours, but what I used to do was, when I would want to talk to her and I would miss her, I would pull the letters out and read them to remind myself why I wasn't talking to her.
Yeah.
And that's not healthy either, because my mom wrote them at a time when she felt it needed to be addressed the way she addressed it. And that doesn't mean she felt the same way 2 years later.
Yeah.
And 2 years later, I'm pulling out this letter, and
you're reliving it all over again.
I'm reliving it, yeah. And so after my divorce, I had a really good guy friend in Houston, and he was helping me move. And I was going through all my stuff, and he came across the letters. And he didn't read the letter, but he knew about the letters because he was my friend.
Yeah.
And he goes, "What are you doing with these letters still? What's your plan with these letters?" And I was like, I don't know. He was like, "We're burning them right now. They're gone. It's time. Get rid of the letters."
And did you?
Yeah, we burned them together.
How did you feel?
I feel so much better, and I can't even remember what they said. Now, it's been a long time. This was right maybe less than a year after my divorce, so about 15 years ago. And I don't remember what they said. I do remember it was some of the most hurtful things I've ever had someone say to me. But I also understand that I was hurting her at the time in a different way, And so it wasn't the best form of communication for her to give to me, but the message got sent, which is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Is about, I understand the whole writing the letter, and you just get more out that you feel. Some people do that in text because they can't say it to their face.
Yeah.
And I have communicated with Rick on more than one occasion via a text because I couldn't say it.
Yeah.
Without getting
and I
upset.
really think that's one thing that was interesting to me, is that barrier, and it comes up in different instances for different reasons. But I think that a lot of people meet that barrier at different points. Like if something is too hard to say, or you don't know how to say it, like how do I communicate this? And so sometimes they go to, maybe I'll just call them and tell them if I can't tell them to their face, or maybe I will text them if I can't call them. It's too hard to call and talk about it on the phone. So let me text it. I'll text it out. Or I'll email it. I'll send them an email. I guess.
Whatever you gotta do.
There's all these different like
but the
avenues.
problem is if it's intimacy, it's something that you need intimacy wise.
Yeah.
It seems like saying it while you're in bed.
And see, and I've
what
thought
most
about
people
that.
do.
And that's why one of the reasons why I was like, I'm just saving this because I want to talk about it. I want to be real and I want to talk about it is because that's what I thought to myself too. And this week, I've kind of like, it's been a weird week and it's been a long week and I haven't even felt very good this week. So I know I've been all over the place. But I have been making steps in my therapy to do different things. And so this was a step that I was taking this week. Last week, I had one that was because last year, remember, I started my Instagram again for the podcast. And so that was a step in my therapy was being able to do some sort of social media. Yeah. And so I have my Instagram and that's going fine. I post like maybe once every couple of months. But still, I mean, I have it and it hasn't created any kind of negativity for me. So it's been a good thing. So I am now pushing myself a little bit further. And so I got Amazon and I got Pandora two more things that I went ahead and added on because it's electronics. It's anything that is, I don't know that Amazon's not necessarily social media, but it's something that online shopping. I don't do online shopping. I've never put my number into the computer to buy something. Okay. I don't do it. Yeah. And so it was a step in the electronics department of my therapy.
Yeah. And getting you out of your comfort zone is what that is. Yeah.
Well, another one that I was supposed to do is to either write a letter or, communicate with my significant other about something in our physical life or our, emotionally,
what
sexually.
You need, something you need.
Because it's healthy. Even if you have a healthy sex life, it's good to revisit that and make, I like to anyways, you know. I don't ever, not want to give my partner what they need. If I'm capable of doing it in a healthy way and in a mentally healthy way, I'm going to try and do it. I'm going to try and push myself to do it. And that can be very difficult for me. Any kind of intimacy or physical contact is difficult. Whether I'm shaking your hand or whether I'm in bed with somebody, it's going to be difficult to some level. So when it comes to him, he very much satisfies me. And I, try to make sure I always satisfy him. And I'm actually a very physical person when I'm in a relationship with somebody.
Yeah, because you trust them.
Yeah. And I'm borderline, like, a sex addict anyways. Like, it's weird because I don't like being touched. Yeah. But it does. I'm like two sides of that coin. Right. You just flip. One day it's this, one day it's that. And so I tried to... Last night, I was like, okay, I'm going to talk to him. I'm going to say something. I'm going to say, and I literally laid there for as long as I can remember. And I never said anything.
Yeah. And do you have something you want
to say? Yes,
I
definitely. It's something so simple. I cannot even ask him. I can't say, will you touch me? Or will you do this? I cannot do it. I can't. Yeah. He has to just do it. And I don't mind if he can do whatever he wants to do. And he knows he can. Right. But he doesn't ever do too much. You know what I mean? He understands. He's a very good lover. He's a very good person. But whenever I want something, I can't ask him to do it for me. Right. And I know that he would. You know what I mean? I know that he wouldn't be like, no, I'm not going to do that. Of course he would. Yeah. But I can't ask you, hey, will you touch me? Hey, will you put your hands on me? Hey, will you do this for me? Like, why can't I do that? And I literally laid there thinking
that's
myself.
more common than you realize. And I'll tell you why I think this is. It goes back to that podcast, the first or second podcast we did when we discussed women, I think it was the second podcast, women that are raised to be like these perfect women and Christian ladies and become wives and be perfect. Mm-hmm. But all they've been taught is hide your body. Don't have sex. I mean, when you're a teenage girl.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's definitely, don't even think about it.
Don't have sex. And you don't just hear it from, your parents, you hear it from everybody. Oh, yeah. Because the girls look down on and, so you're starting off womanhood. I mean, a teenager
already suppressed.
Yeah, already suppressed. And I mean, I don't think teenagers need to be having sex. I'm not trying to say that. What I'm saying is, though, is that we are putting in their heads now, be ashamed of your body.
Yeah, be ashamed and be afraid.
Yeah, and sex is, don't be a hoe. Don't be a whore. Don't be. And so then you get with a man, your partner, and you want to, you don't know how to express yourself because you've been told not to express yourself.
I know. I really think that definitely goes.
Yeah, and it's just like men. It's a same, but it's different. Men are told not to cry and be men and to stand up, and so then they don't know how to have that side sometimes, depending on the people, you know. Whereas with women, I think it's much more about sex, and it is about and sharing what they need or whatever the case is. And I've said this before. I've said it on this podcast, and I think I said it on the other podcast. When I was married, I got divorced at about 32. I think I was about 32 when I got divorced. So I was about your age. Okay, and my ex-husband was very judgmental of people, and he would like tear everybody down all the time. And
that's so sad.
How they dressed and what they looked like. And I don't know that he's still like this. He was young too, but he was like that. And everything was about keeping up appearances and clothes. And I'm not like that. And I have never been like that. And I used to tell him to stop being like that. But what he did to me without realizing what he was doing to me is he made me worry he was always judging me.
Yeah.
So I felt like I could not be myself with my husband because he was judging everybody, so I knew he was judging me.
Yeah, you knew you weren't safe.
Yeah, there's no safe. What do you dress like? What do you wear? And he would tear people down so much that I was afraid to wear what they were wearing and to put my hair like that if I liked their hair, but he had torn it down. Because it was everybody he saw. It was all the time.
It's got to be exhausting.
It is exhausting, and I didn't realize what he was doing for a long time because it would be subtle things he would say, and he'd be like, why are they wearing that with that? Or why would they cut their hair like that? Or, oh God, she has way too much makeup on. Or that's, just whatever, you know what I mean? And so I was very insecure with myself and didn't even know how insecure I'd become with myself.
Yeah.
And I'd always not been insecure. So it was very odd, and so sex was part of that as well. I just was not comfortable with my body, with him asking him for anything. The entire time we were married, not one time did I ask him to do anything for me in that regards. It was whatever, and I will tell you, it was a horrible sex life. I can't believe we have children. I thought something was wrong with me. I thought that I was never going to like sex. I thought something was physically wrong with me because I could not enjoy it.
Yeah.
And, I don't know how else to put it because I was so worried. And I didn't even know I was worried. I had just so much anxiety. And so at the end of the marriage, when we finally, the shit hit the fan and we started being more honest with each other about things like that, I told him, finally, I can't even have sex with you without worrying what you think of me. And we've been together at that point 15 years. And I was like, I can't even enjoy sex because I don't trust you not thinking negative things of me. I can't ask you to do things to me because I think you're going to think I'm a whore, or I think you're going to think less of me,
or think something negative.
Just something.
Something negative is going to come of it.
Yes, and he had no idea he'd been doing that. He was shocked, and he was upset with himself. He really was. He had no idea that is what had happened, and at that point, it was broken. It wasn't fixable.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And it was, but I made a conscious effort.
Yeah. After
that relationship, to never allow anyone to do that to me again, and to have more confidence in myself. And I'm going to tell you, anyone that knows me pre-divorce versus now, they get a totally different Zada.
Yeah.
And anyone will tell you that because I was very suppressed and I was living my life to make someone else happy. Mm-hmm. So don't wear makeup. You don't need to wear makeup. You look like a whore. So I wouldn't wear makeup. I did not. When did I start wearing makeup?
Very recently. Well,
2 years ago. Yeah. I made a goal to learn how to apply makeup, y'all.
Yeah, you're like, screw this. I'm going to do this.
I made Kelly help me learn to apply makeup in my 40s. Mm-hmm. Because what I was told, you're too pretty for makeup. You don't need makeup because you're too pretty. And only ugly girls have makeup.
Hearing that. Like, and I'm not saying that people can't have their opinions, fine, whatever. But your opinion about somebody else and what they look like is irrelevant, okay? Because you are not that person.
Exactly.
So that person can put clown makeup on their face for how much. I mean, and why did they do it? Because they wanted to. Exactly. And that should be all that matters. And it doesn't matter how you feel about it. I was
very conscious with my children to make sure that I did not create that world for them, because that is their father. And they still see him, you know, so they're getting, I know he's still to a degree doing it, you know, because I hear things the kids say. And, you know, I tell my girls, you know, you don't need to be ashamed of your body. You don't need to worry about anyone else. And you don't need, and I'll hear them say something about somebody else, and I'll stop them and be like, you need to mind your own business and not worry about what they're doing or what they're wearing. And are they happy? They look happy. And my kids don't do it a lot because that's not the example I've set for them. But if I hear it, I address it immediately.
That's good.
And I do think that is how you ended up in the boat you're in. Other things, obviously, as well.
Oh, yeah.
But I think women are just told, you know, and then they get married and their husband's like, why don't you want to do this? Why are you know, well, why do you think?
Yeah.
We were told we're not supposed to do that, but you wanted me to be a whore suddenly? Now I can be a whore?
Yeah.
Now?
Yes. Finally.
Yes, you know?
Apparently I need to get married.
I mean, I'm just kidding. Yeah, it'd be perfect for you. Because sex ends. No. That's horrible.
Oh my gosh, that's so sad.
That's a good conversation. I'm really glad that you brought that to the table.
Well, that is the thing that I'm going to do now is I am going to write him a letter, and because it's something so simple and it has such a simple solution, and I know that I'm making it harder than it needs to be because, I mean, I know that he would do anything for me.
Right.
So it's just getting past that initial of not being able, like pushing myself past my boundaries and like actually asking for something that I want.
We need to circle back to this on the next podcast.
And
see how it went. You don't have to tell us what you asked for.
Well, stay tuned.
We have a whole new direction we're going with this podcast.
It's after hours time now.
That is funny. After hours. We're going to have a third podcast.
We need everybody. All the listeners has to be 18 and up.
I mean, you know, I honestly would tell people now there will be adult conversations more so than what we have.
So
on the other
this is kind of touching a little, you know what I mean? Like this is the kind of stuff I want to be able to talk about because, you know, not that we have to get all into detail, but being able to talk about your sex life and the things that you need is healthy. Like,
exactly. It needs to be healthy, mentally healthy, physically healthy.
Because if not, aspects. You're really, you know, you're making it hard on yourself. Like life doesn't need to be. Life is already hard enough.
It doesn't need to be a chore, and it doesn't need to be something you dread. And it can be such a beautiful thing. And if it's not a beautiful thing, you're not with the right partner.
Yeah, you need
point
to
blank.
Be with the right partner. The person is going to make it what it needs to be for you, and really, that can change so much with just the partner that you're with.
Well, and if your partner doesn't want to have sex with you and constantly is turning you down or isn't in the mood, or when you do have sex, they're just like a dead fish, you as the partner that has a problem with it needs to figure out what you can do better. Mm-hmm. Because a lot of times there's something way more than they just don't want to have sex.
Yeah.
There's a reason. And like with my ex-husband, I just wasn't attracted to him anymore, and I felt like he was judging me, and there was just so much going on in my head that I didn't even understand why I didn't want to have sex. I literally went to the doctor, and I was like, "What is wrong with me that I don't want to have sex with my husband?
Something has to be wrong with me."
And they were like, "Is he not cleaning up?" I was like, "What?" They were like, "No, seriously. Does he help around the house?" I was like, "No." Does he do the yard? No, he's lazy. He doesn't do anything. He plays video games. Okay, well, that's probably it. I was like, no, it's physical. No, it's not. It's mental. You're not turned on by him.
Yeah, I can totally.
And they were freaking right. They couldn't have been more right. And thank God, you know. Anyway, so yeah, that's our that's the moral of this story.
Yeah, I think we covered some good ground today.
We did, and we went over an hour.
Yeah, we're good at this.
Yeah, killing it.
Or we talk too much, one or the other.
Both. So we'll see. We're going to need some feedback from listeners about how long the podcast should be.
Yeah.
Because we've been trying to shoot for about 45 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And so far.
That was our original goal, was around 45.
Yeah. Well, because we do, the other podcast is about 35 minutes. We stop at between 30 and 35 minutes. And a lot of the regular listeners had reached out and said, it needs to be longer. But I was like, well, I don't want it to be too long, and they lose interest. So there's a happy median You know?
We can find that happy medium.
Yeah. And people don't tend to listen to the whole thing. They tend to be in and out while they're doing laundry or.
Yeah, they catch a little bit. And I'm fine with that too. That's why I like being able to switch it up and talk about different subjects too, because you never know what they're going to catch and what's going to catch their attention and when they're going to.
Exactly. Yeah.
Tune out or go to the next or whatever.
Yeah. They'll be like, Well, the other day I was trying to listen to podcasts I wanted to find some podcasts of women, like of friends, of like us.
Yeah.
I was trying to just kind of get an idea, I don't know, it's competition, but what's out there.
Yeah.
So I was purposely looking for podcasts about women. Ours isn't about women. It's about relationships and stuff, life. But it is obviously more women geared.
And we're women talking.
And we're women talking. And so that's what I was trying to find. I'm going to tell you, I went through probably 10 podcasts, and I did not find one I enjoyed.
Really?
And, yeah. And, excuse me, now I'm coughing.
I'm sorry. Did I get you sick?
Maybe.
No, it's just allergies.
Yeah, everybody's got allergies. So
I gave you my allergies.
I know. So I just, and what I found was missing from them, and I don't know what's really missing. It just wasn't what I was looking for. It's probably exactly what other people want, But what was missing from it was the realness. I felt like I was listening to newscasters.
Yeah.
And they're not supposed to be like us.
Well, I'm glad that we're here. We're throwing a little something different into the mix. Well, thank you so much for joining us again. This is Kelly and Zada reminding you that there are always 3 sides to every story. 2 sides and the truth. See you next time.